Like, one of the things, I think, Tainted Samson True Ending alt path is definitely plausible. Everything else, I'm not... Oh, what? Come on, man. Dude. Man, come on, dude. I don't know what... Does this item even work now? Like, of all the items that needed a rework, this one's pretty close to the top of the list. It kills the beast and the horseman. I think we're just gonna take this, man. The game isn't captured. I would like to debate your assertion on that one. We can at least use Unicorn Stump for the rest of this floor. Never mind. It kills the beast instantly. It's pretty... So, like, if you use it on the first horseman, it kills the beast instantly. If that's true, it's pretty good. Although, I would have to hold it the whole time. Alright, I'll give it a try, maybe. Wiki says yes. Which wiki? Platinum God or fandom? Cause I'm done with the fandom wiki, man. I'm not trying to cast negativity onto the wiki creators. The fandom one is good. Maybe it's another one then. But whatever is SEO'd out of the freaking gills in order to be the top result for platinum, or not for Platinum God, but for Isaac Wiki, that one annoys me. You could leave it and get it on the way up. Oh, genius. Genius play. Hold on, I also have to put a slash marker here. Slash marker, repentance, start. And then I gotta, when I edit the video, I'll go back in time and make it work. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know what's up. I guess there's like a, there's like an industry of wikis, right? Like, it used to be, and I'm not saying like things were better in the old days necessarily, but it used to be if you were a fan of a game, maybe they'd make a wiki of it, users would update it, and as a result of that, you would have a great, valuable source of knowledge. But now, I feel like they're almost all, like, machine-generated and mostly used to serve video advertisements. That might just be my opinion. I don't know if that's the case. So I've been doing a lot more cooking, okay? Because we quit the HelloFresh. So I look up recipes quite frequently. And I gotta tell you, the whole online cooking industry is screwed. Is horrible. It's the perfect example of something that, you know, they added, like, incentives for the wrong thing. Instead of incentivizing, and I understand, you know, Google's got a hard problem to solve. Oh, come on, man. But instead of emphasizing good content, it emphasizes content that kind of like games the algorithm. And I now am skeptical of like every online recipe website I go to for a couple of reasons. One is some of them are just overly self-indulgent. Like I literally looked up a recipe. But here's what I Googled: how to finish sirloin tip steak in air fryer. Pretty simple question. Literally, time plus temperature is all I needed. Top result is from, hey, Bill's website. This is, it's got a 4.9 out of 5 with 1 million reviews, despite the website never having been heard from before in my entire life. So yeah, I'm sure there's definitely, I'm sure 10,000 people not only read Bill's blog for this recipe, but then also cooked it and went, that's so good. I gotta give you 5 stars on that one, Bill. But then one person was like, actually, it's only a 4. It was pretty good, but come on, guys. Let's not be unreasonable here. I'm going straight down, man. I'm going straight down. And then it goes into my life story. Do you like sirloin tips? Here's some sirloin tip steaks recipes in the air fryer. I love beef. Me and my family eat beef all the time, but my kids don't always like the great cuts of beef, like a ribeye. Sometimes I gotta get them sirloin tips. And, you know, it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And then all the SEO is plugged at the top. Sometimes they have a nice button that's like skip to the recipe, and then it just goes zzz, like your phone scrolls a billion scroll wheel rotations, and it finally takes you down. It's literally a 3-step recipe. Turn your air fryer to 400 degrees for 5 minutes, and then take it out. The end. The online recipe industry is... it no longer serves the person. It no longer serves the people. I now totally understand why websites, or why I should say YouTube channels like Binging with Babish are so popular. Not only I've only done the one recipe from Binging with Babish, but previously I was, bro, like, come on. Previously, I was a bit of a snob about it. And I thought, why would I ever want to watch a video when instead I could just read? Because I'm, you know, generally speaking, anytime I see a video tutorial about how to do something, it's like 10 times longer than it would need to be if I just read the words. Are you kidding me? These items, dude. But now websites are bad. So I completely understand the rise of videos. I don't even mind because people are saying now Babish's videos have like bounty paper towel ads in them. Like, literally, I do not care at all as long as it still like delivers the content in a reasonable fashion. Like, if every video started with literally like 8 minutes of bounty paper towel discussion. Hey, do you like, you know, you get the idea. I'm not gonna get air fryer, ninja air fryer recipes, crispy air fryer, sweet potato in the French fries. You know, it's just it has literally like made the content unusable at the expense of the reason the reason people look for it to begin with. Like, your business model for these like cooking blogs is essentially like based on tricking people into clicking on your link first, and then that's it. Like, your business model, I suppose, is just existing. I don't know how deep I want to go with that one. I guess, you know, everybody's is kind of existing, but my purpose is, you know, existing for entertainment purposes. Maybe not everybody. It seems so much worse now, yeah. Like, it used to be bad. But it was always just self-indulgent people. You know, you'd look up a recipe for like a chickpea stew, and then you'd hear about, you know, some lady who had an affair in Morocco or something like that. This is the D6 of the century. Sausage, great item. Just a sausage, nothing to see here. But now, even that lady can't get a word in edgewise. Now she can't even talk about the guy that she met who was a tour guide that took them out into the Marrakesh market. She's getting SEO'd out of her freaking gourd by somebody who's like, the best way to cook a hot dog in an air fryer. Nothing says summer like cooking hot dogs, but sometimes you don't want to get the grill ready. Even though you can't replace the telltale taste and smell of grilled hot dogs, what if you could make grilled hot dogs in a fraction of a time by putting grilled hot dogs in your air fryer for that same kind of grilled hot dog flavor, best grilled hot dog flavor you can get out of an air fryer, but without having to warm up the grill. Rinse and repeat for like literally 9 paragraphs. Nothing gets me as well. Like when you look, like the other day I looked up a recipe that was like, you know, crispy potatoes in the air fryer. And with the first paragraph of the recipe was like, if you like this recipe, you might be interested in how to make fish in the air fryer. And I was like, nah. I Googled how to make crispy potatoes in the air fryer. This is a situation, I literally have a thing, looked up how to cook it, and you're like, would you like to see, how to cook a food you don't even have in your house right now? And I'm like, nah, man. Give them a little bit of olive oil, some garlic, salt, some pepper, then put them in at 400 for 20 minutes. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I also, from Googling so many recipes, man, I don't believe those reviews for a damn second. You tell me this lady's, like, curried cauliflower recipe has 1,000 5-star reviews, even though I've never heard of it in my life? I'm not saying I've heard of everything. It just seems a little suspicious to me. Anyway, the recipes are usually good, though. The end. It's just a little sus. That's all I'm trying to say. You trying to tell me a shrimp fried this rice? NL, you have 7,000 viewers, and if a random person asked who you were, if I asked a random person who you were, they wouldn't know? That's literally, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. In order to reach the point where you hit, like, because, like, this is engaging with the content. If I left an area to start, like, giving reviews as well, and you saw reviews that were, like, tenfold larger than the magnitude of the people that are interfacing with the content in the first place, you would probably be like, what the heck? This doesn't seem right. I hope you would give me a 5-star, though. What's a Korean dish I should make at home? I'm going to hit you with a bit of a controversial take, okay? I think Korean food is one of those cuisines that is best to eat out for a couple of reasons. One is, as we head downwards here, one is there's a lot of the stuff you need to buy bespoke ingredients for if you're not cooking Korean food all the time. You know, you got 12 different kinds of ganjang depending on whether you're making a soup or a stir fry. You know, I'm not saying you can't make this stuff at home, but the other thing is that it creates like an absolute crap load of dishes. And if you want to eat like genuine Korean food, part of the fun of it is having so many banchan, right? So if you're not gonna go out and get the banchan and have, you know, like some gamjacholim or something like that alongside, like some gatdugi and some, you know, some kimchi and stuff like that, then like as far as I'm concerned, why not just eat it out, man? It's easy to, like, some Korean food at least is not that difficult to make at home. It's just like it's a lot of work. Whereas, you know, the price of it at a restaurant is not always, like, super expensive. Like, bibimbap is literally just, like, you julienne some vegetables, cook some rice, and then just, like, you know, add some gochujang and, like, mix it up in a bowl. That's easy. Like, you can make it. You probably need some sesame oil as well. But, excuse me, from my race with Daniel, I don't trust you. That's how you pronounce bibimbap? Oh no. Have you been going out to Korean restaurants? I'll have some bibimbap, please. And they're like, yeah, okay, sure, yeah. Magic skin, huh? I take. I use. I reroll. I don't reroll because I used my charges. My mistake. I mean, I'll be honest, like, I always laugh because like, and this is not anti-Malf. I use Malf as the example because he enjoys cooking. So, you know, I think in North American cooking cuisine, there is like an idea that unless you're going to a fancy restaurant, homemade is always going to beat store-bought. And my understanding from, you know, my wife being Korean, and then also, you know, eating with my in-laws quite often, is that that stereotype doesn't really exist in Korean culture. Like, you cook meals for, like, special events, and throughout the week, don't get me wrong. Like, but especially, like, you make a big meal for Chuseok and stuff like that, and for Seollnal. But, you know, sometimes if we want Korean food and we're with our in-laws, they're like, yeah, we'll just, like, go out and, you know, you can get a Korean meal with, like, 3 different kinds of side dishes and kimchi for, like, I don't know, maybe, like, $12 per person. Korean barbecue's a little different, obviously, but I always laugh when people are like, you know, do you make your own kimchi at home? And I'm like, absolutely not. It's insane. I lived in Korea. I don't even think in Korea the average person doesn't make their kimchi at home. They just, you know, go to E-Mart and then pick up like a jar of it. I think it's preferable, really. I get that you can make your own, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it comes in a 2-liter jar that's like $7. Anyway, that's all I got. Some people just have hobbies. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you want to make your own homemade kimchi, don't let me stop you. I'm just saying, the annoying part is when people are like, you know, oh, how did you make the kimchi? And you're like, oh, actually, I bought it from a store. And they're like, oh, okay. Well, that's cute. I remember. You know, if you just invested like a little bit more time because you care about yourself, if you just wasted slightly less time, you can make up your own kimchi. And I'm like, this is a situation, I'd rather leave it up to the people who are, you know, experts at it. I don't wish to see magic skin anymore. Wait, I wish to use it one more time. Can you imagine? The make your own bread argument. Yo, I will say though, first off, what a rip. But I will say, dude, I'm just taking this. We're out of here on the floor anyway. We can pick that up on the way, and then we can pick up Plan C on the way back up. So I was like anti-baking a little bit. Not anti like you should never do it, but for me personally, I was like, it's not a hobby that strikes me. Now that I have another day off, it's not like I find myself with a lack of things to do. I promise you that. But I do find myself with clumped free time. So this weekend, I didn't make pizza dough, but rather than buying a pre-made pizza crust and then dressing it, I bought pizza dough in the fresh section at the grocery store and then like rolled it out. Hold on, we need to recall here for a second. Rolled it out and then was like, I'll admit I was skeptical that it was going to be better than like a pizza crust you would just get that was already like made and then fresh frozen. But it was good, you know, used a rolling pin, threw some flour on it and you know, I was impressed with the results and I was like, you know what, maybe I would like baking. Hey, I could totally see it. You have a hobby. It's a repetitive thing, which I like. I'm not saying it's a negative thing. You know, it's a repetitive menial task, and then afterwards you can eat it, and everybody. Oh, are you just come on, man? Everybody agrees that fresh baked bread products taste better than ones you get at the grocery store. That's one that's not like controversial for the most part. So I was like, I think maybe I'm getting to a point in my life where I would actually start to enjoy baking. Possibly. Is the snickerdoodle a respected cookie in your world? It is. And this is very fortuitous because I had never had one until literally, like, I was at the grocery store a week and a half ago. And I don't know if other spouses can relate to this, but when I go to the grocery store, I liked, even if I ask before I go, hey honey, do you need anything? Even if she says no, I just get her something. Because it's better to not come home empty-handed. It's always nice to just be able to come home and be like, I know you said don't get me anything, but I got you something. And you know, it's just a little life pro tip from me to you. That I would encourage you to possibly do the same. That being said, so I was at the store and I was in the bakery section and I was like, well, what does she like? And I know she likes the white chocolate macadamia cookies from Subway. I saw some in the Whole Foods that kind of looked like them. So I said, let's give this a shot. And they were snickerdoodles. I had no idea what they were like. I tried one myself when I gave them to her. And they're just like, it's like a very fluffy, like white cookie with cinnamon sugar dusted on the top. I give it my seal of approval. It's a very mild flavor, but an incredible texture. Okay, what is the tainted, what is Tainted Devil, by the way? I know I need the Fool, I just don't know. Hold on, Eden Soul gives you 2 items in the pool, or 2 items... 2 items from the pool, or 2 items from Angel Deals? 2 items in the... I was in the pool! Jerry, I was in the pool. Okay, so I'm realizing now, what 2 items in the pool means in this context is... magic skin. So, I have no idea if I'm going to even find, please, the secret rooms here. Because you and I both know I'm not the best at, like, mental cartography in this game. Frick. When's Seinfeld coming to Netflix? Bro, I know that dad bod is starting to set in. Well, I guess we don't need to go back for the spirit heart then. Because, has anybody else realized that, like, when I was... And I apologize for the way that this is going to come across. When I was, like, 8 and I watched Seinfeld, Jason Alexander was the largest man I have ever seen in my life. Now, as a 32-year-old man, when I watch Seinfeld, Jason Alexander just looks like a guy, and everybody else, I'm like, wow, they're so skinny. How did my frame of reference has become so twisted? I'm like, okay, Kramer is skinny for sure, but I think Jerry's just like a normal guy. I actually read a comment like that echoed this on the Seinfeld subreddit when I was there like 6 months ago. It was a candid photo of George. Well, a candid photo of Jason Alexander. And it was like, man, when I was a kid, I thought this guy was like insanely overweight. And now that I look at his photos, I don't know whether I changed or the world changed, but he just looks like every guy I know that's my age. I'm gonna try it, okay? With so many spacebar items, dude, I have no idea where I'm going. But we're gonna give that up for Plan C, I think, because we already got the item we would get from Cursed Key on the way back, I think. Oh, right, we don't even... On the way up, there's not even any super secret rooms, right? Like, there's no point.
Infested?
I think. I don't know. I'm Ron Burgundy. Still got the Fool card. There can be other special rooms. But anyway, yeah, that's where I'm at. Now when I look at Jason, there's even days where, like, I catch myself talking like my grandma. I'll be like, this must be an early season episode, because honestly, George is looking kind of trim. Doesn't matter what we take. Okay, doesn't matter what we take. It's actually kind of a good devil deal for us. The summer body of George. I don't care. I'm just going. That's adorable. Oh, thank you. Anyway, that's all I got. Not a whole lot of, you know, banter juice flowing these days. I got promoted in TFT. I played 2 games last night. I came 3rd and 5th, which is actually, like, statistically speaking, very slightly above average, which I was impressed with. As a result, I got promoted from Bronze 3 to Bronze 2. Oh, baby. But I feel like ranking in TFT is, like, busted, man. Like, why am I stuck? Like, whenever I queue for Bronze games, I look at, like, the people I get queued against, and there's, like, silvers and golds in the game. And I'm like, why? So you realize, like, I'm just fodder for the golds to farm. Isn't that just average? Excuse me? What's 1 plus 8 divided by 2? What's 3 plus 5 divided by 2? It's like the average of a dice roll. It's not 3, it's 3.5. Am I allowed to use a calculator? Yeah, I don't, you know, doesn't matter. Buzz plus 5 over Fizz. Don't be mean. Excuse me, it's not being mean to just ask people to think about the things they say before they say them. I mean, if you're gonna correct somebody, that's mean. Especially if you don't even have confidence that the thing you're correcting them on is actually something that they were wrong about in the first place. What are you doing in here? I'm going too far, man. Thoughts on waiters saying, "Tell me when"? I have no problem with it. I will say, I mean, this is like, what could the problem possibly be, right? But as the person who spins banter out of nothing, or at least tries to, I will say, I don't have a problem with it, but sometimes I do find at a restaurant when they come by and they're like, "Do you want any freshly cracked black pepper on your food?" In my head, I'm like, shouldn't that be the chef's decision? One of the reasons that I'm at the restaurant... Yeah, we're gonna stick with this. One of the reasons that I'm at the restaurant is because of the fact that I trust the professional chef to make decisions that make they have the best interest in the food in mind. You know, this isn't a Subway. Would you like some more, you know, affogato in your tiramisu? It's not up to me. I leave that up to the chef. Parmesan cheese, I always say yes to, because that stuff's expensive, man. If you can get that stuff for free, you're like, absolutely. But the seasoning, I'm like, dude, that's up to you. Like, if I'm eating at a restaurant and they got a salt shaker on the table, I'm a little scared. I'm not gonna deny it. I'm a little frightened. That was just a bad bomb. I did see the latest Subway controversy. That the tuna apparently contains no identifiable tuna DNA. I honestly, like, okay, I eat at Subway on occasion. I will never ever defend it as like, oh, this is good, high quality food. I will say at some point, you just have to like pour one out for Subway franchisees who have gotten the crap kicked out of them over the course of like the last decade. Hey, Subway, eat fresh. Oh, it turns out a foot of bread is not actually good for you. That's the first hit. Oh, it turns out it's not even actually a foot. Oh, it turns out that it's made of the same chemicals that yoga mats are made out of. Oh, by the way, our feel-good mascot or spokesperson just got arrested for the most horrific sex crimes you could possibly imagine. Oh, and then on top of that, the chicken is 43% chicken and 57% soy. But that's okay. That lab test was inconclusive. So we're going to sue the CBC. Oh, wait, the judge threw out our lawsuit. Okay. Well, geez, at least, you know, you get the... It just never ends, man. Like, if you're a Subway franchisee, like, you're just getting bodied nonstop. Oh, it's okay. There was no competition. Oh, wait. Jimmy John's, Firehouse, like so many other companies, Jersey Mike's have, like, stepped in their wake. Even Quiznos is coming back. It's crazy, man. It's a bad time to be, like, a Subway franchisee. I did also, I watched a video about, like, Subway, and they were saying the franchisees were, like, having issues with the corporation, because the corporation would just make promotions that, like, were essentially unprofitable and then foist them upon the franchisee. It'd be like my business is not making money, and then the corporation is like, all sandwiches are half off today, and you're like, come on, man. I work at a Subway. The tuna one's a lie. Everything else is true. I'm not trying to be antagonistic, but honestly, how would you know if the tuna isn't tuna? Like, doesn't it just come in a big can that says, like, Doctor's Associates tuna? You're not running tests back at the lab. Like, just because the label says tuna. Like, unless you're packing that stuff into the can, I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just saying I don't consider you a verifiable source, necessarily. It do be smelling like tuna, I can't deny that. Source, dude, just trust me. It looks real as hell. That's just a great comment. I'm not even mad. That's hilarious. It looks real as hell. That's reason. Don't lie to yourself, Walt. That's reasoning we've all used for other things in our life in the past, but my theory is that the Sabres are paid to lose by the Subway Corporation because Subway is supposed to give out sandwiches when they win big. Wasn't there something like that with the Senators? I remember, like, there used to be, well, I'm not speaking from a position of authority here, but I am, I'll bring it back to the Canucks experience. I laugh every time that, like, the Canucks have this thing with the local grocery chain called, the Save On Score and Win Challenge with Save On Foods. And they always, I'm like, this guy's getting so much free advertising. Like, it's probably not free, but he's getting so much, like, credit that it's insane to me. Every time the Canucks score a goal, a random person in British Columbia that has used their points card in the past, like, 100 years gets a $100 gift certificate to the grocery store. If someone scores 4 goals, if one person scores 4 goals in the same game, they give out $100,000. If someone scores 5 goals in the same game, they give out $1 million. How rare is that? In the 6 years or so that I've watched almost every Canucks game, nobody has scored 4 goals. And I don't even think, like, the team has scored 5 goals in probably less than a third of their games, for certain. So if every goal was scored by the same person, which is like infinitesimal, it still limits the sample size to like a third of games that it's even possible in. And then they probably have contest insurance. Do you think so? Because, like, I know how this sounds. This is like ultimate out-of-touch streamer. But, like, it's $1 million. Like, it's a lot of money for an individual. But, like, it's not that much money for, like, a grocery chain to pay out. Like, they probably spend $1 million on, like, romaine lettuce every week or something like that. Like, they're feeding the whole province. That's what John and John talk about every game. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I'm sure that Save On is also giving more money to be a sponsor beyond just the contest. But I'm like, they literally get press every single game for never giving away more than like $400 a game in prizes. I guess nothing, man. Don't worry, I got Plan C. Don't worry about it. It's locked in the cerebellum. I might re-roll my entire run first. Via D4, not D100. Just because this run is stinky. One of the best decisions ever made, without a doubt. Oh, it's basement 1. Okay, it's basement 1. Who are we cheering for in the playoffs now? Dude, I was like only half on the bandwagon for the Habs. Now that they're 1 game away, though, I'm like all in. I think it would be awesome. And I do want to say to Vegas fans, first off, it's only sports. So, like, who cares? You only lose if you get mad, unless you're on the team, right? But I'm willing to meet Vegas fans like halfway and admit that you're an insanely good team, that if you lose to the Habs, you've got to start having conversations about them being like one of the best teams to have not won the cup during their window. Like almost in an unlucky fashion. You know what they ran into beast mode Braden Holtby and Ovechkin in their first year. Fair enough. Second year, there was an unbelievable 5-on-3 power play where they let in 3 goals in Game 7 and lost. Then somehow last year they lost to Dallas, which is like, I don't even understand how that happened. If they then lose to Montreal this year, you got to be like, I mean, this is a team that really should have, one of those should have gone all the way probably. Yes, Plan C. Yes, yes. Do not fear. Yes, yes. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Plan C is coming. It's coming. Tampa. Tampa's really good too. I mean, that's the other reason I feel good rooting for the Canadians, right? Is they're like no matter what, they will remain the super underdogs. Okay, got a range upgrade. Good brimstone bombs, though. Rock bottom D8 is pretty good. This run's about to move real fast, though. Excuse me? All we have to do is make it through Dogma. If we make it through Dogma, life's great. We should. We should. Then, and Dogma Plus, yeah. Just don't forget to sleep in the bed. We should be okay. What do you think about the movie Dogma? It's probably my my second favorite Kevin James movie. Which is not saying much. Kevin James, sorry, Kevin Smith, my mistake. One of them's funny, the other one's cringe. Why did, yeah, somebody said the bed doesn't help you in this situation. Source, dude, just trust me. It looks super real. Magic skin, huh? It's an interesting choice. It looks super real. It's so good. The damage is slightly low, but it's still doing great work. I was just gonna say, can we not shoot the shots back at the TV here? All you gotta do is not panic, and you're fine on that one. Send them back like an angry old man at the deli. The sea was angry, my friends. Okay, that was dumb. Let me go. Varys, give me back my legions. Get frozen. Yo, we got the great, I don't even remember the name of the item. I forget this attack. It's the dream. Excuse me. Excuse me, one more, just one more. Merely one more bomb. Easy mode. Then we just pop it. Dude, if I got trolled, honestly, like, fair play.
The sky above cracked.
Saved. Saved. Alright, that was good. That's also, the first time I've ever seen Plan C be useful, which is kind of amazing. So that was Tainted Samson. True ending. We could still... And that run, by the way, sucked. At the end, it was amazing, because we re-rolled the entire thing into Epic Fetus and then used Plan C to kill the boss instantly. Everything before that sucked bad. But anyway, /marker. Plan